Yeah, hello and welcome to my today's short hands-on of the two Sigma art lenses you can see here. To be precise, I want to show you today the 19mm f2.80N lens and the 30mm f2.80N lens for Micro Four Thirds systems. And this is, by the way, the second generation of these lenses. There is also still a first generation available, which is called EXDN, but I highly recommend that you get this second generation because the first one had a few problems with the startup delay, for example 2 or 3 seconds of additional startup delay with some bodies. And also the AF system is little bit more silent with this new models, and also the exterior is way more rugged. So because, for example, here is more metal in use, and yeah, so all in all they are more stable also. So get the second edition. I highly recommend to get the second edition. So let's get to the lenses itself. As you can see here, they are coming with bags, and this is very nice because normally only more expensive lenses are coming with such bags, and they are padded on all sides, so you can also throw this in your camera bag, for example, in a bigger department, and you don't need a special department for each of the lenses. And this is the case also with the 30mm. And also with the 60mm, by the way, because there's also a 60mm f2.80N lens now available, which is optically even a little bit better than these lenses. So check it out, because it's also not that expensive. I think actually it's priced at 170 and these are priced at only 150. But at this point I also want to mention, get them new if you want the full Sigma warranty, because the full Sigma warranty of 3 years here, for example, in Germany and Austria, is only usable for the first buyer, so for the original owner, and you need to register the lens a few weeks, I think 2, 3 or 4 weeks or so after a purchase, and then you get 3 years instead of only 1 year of warranty. And this is a huge pro over Panasonic, for example, and Olympus, which are offering internationally only 1 year and locally sometimes 2 years. Yeah, so get them new as if you can. The next point I also want to mention is try to get them at the local store, because, for example, I had problems with my 30mm here with the bayonet because it scratched a little bit, and yeah, so it's way easier to exchange them, and you can test them out even before buying. So I highly recommend to search for a local store, and you're also supporting your local dealers. Okay, so let's get back to this review. As you can see here, both lenses are coming with a sunshade. Hello Olympus, here is a sunshade included for this price. And the very nice point is also that, by the way, both sunshades are the same. So for example, if you forget one or you're losing one or whatever, you can also interchange them. But I don't know if this is also possible with the 60mm, but yeah. Check this out please on Google or so. The next huge point, huge pro I want to mention is the manufacturing quality, and especially the focus ring, which is also very compatible to follow focuses, by the way, if I mentioned it already here. Because it's out of metal, it's very stable, and so, for example, you can also mount such a gear very easily, and you don't have to think about the fly-by-wire system, which is maybe losing steps with plasticky focus rings. This is not the case here, and I already mounted them on these rings, and they worked perfectly, still perfectly. They are also dampened, by the way, so you also don't need a very expensive dampened follow focus, by the way. And they are very reactive. They are, by the way, also a little bit more raw stepped compared to the Panasonic, which is a problem in movie mode with the autofocus. But it's kind of a pro because, for example, you can also move the focus very easily from a far point to a nearer one, and you don't even need to re-grab. So if you train a little bit with these rings, it's very nice to use. And with a follow focus and in manual mode for video usage, they are nearly perfect, I have to say. Also very nice is that there is a metal mount on both lenses, the 1930 and also on the 60mm, by the way, which is very nice because, yeah, they are not wearing out that fast. The only problem, as already mentioned, was that my 30mm scratched a little bit, but I changed it and now it's perfectly fitting. They are also fitting a little bit more stiffer or on the stiffer side, so don't think that they are defect because they are just a little bit stiffer than a Panasonic or so. It's even better because then the lens is really fixed on the body, and for example, if you use a follow focus, if you plan to do it, then the lens isn't moving on the bayonet mount. Okay, now let's get to the picture quality, and I will remove the caps a little bit so I can show you the lenses a little bit more in detail. While I'm talking, the picture quality is astonishingly good, by the way. If you are really interested in the mFT charts and so on, please check out a written review, because I cannot show you all in this review because it would get way too long. And this is my third take because the video got way too long. Let's say it this way, distortion-wise, vignetting-wise, sharpness-wise, contrast-wise, these lenses are nearly perfect, and especially the 60mm is one of the best, or is the best out of the three. The 19mm and the 30mm, okay, this is the 90, this is the 30, they are also very good. Only chromatic aberration is a little bit the case, but I have to say it's not that extreme. Stopping down isn't helping, by the way, so don't think that you have to use them on f4, f5.6, f8, whatever. But I have to say that's not that of a big problem, because in post it's not that of a problem to remove such chromatic aberration. And that's it. In all other points, these lenses are really nice. Also really nice is that the AF system is very accurate and very fast. And to surprise you a little bit, I will show you now a short comparison in between this 30mm f2.8 DN lens and a 14140 Power o.i.s Panasonic lens. So the newer edition, with which I'm, by the way, also filming actually. So check it out. Well, as you saw a few seconds ago, the Sigma DN lenses are really fast, and they are about as fast as the new 140mm I'm using actually. The only con is that they sometimes are surging a little bit more than a Panasonic lens, and they are for sure not as fast as the fastest Panasonic and Olympus lenses. But the huge pro is that, for example, compared to a 20mm 1.7, this 19mm here, for example, it's tack sharp, even wide open. It's very fast, it's very cheap compared. You have a huge pro that you have a bigger focus ring here to grab it easier and to use, for example, a follow focus, which is quite hard, for example, with a pancake lens like the 20mm 1.7 Panasonic. The next pro is, by the way, also, and I forgot to mention this before, this front barrel is also not moving. The focusing and the AF system is completely internal, and this is a huge pro, for example, if you plan to use a 4x4 filter holder in front or a bigger rubber sunshade. But I recommend to use a metal step-up rim, because otherwise it's wearing out too fast. And also very nice is the fact that in video mode, for example, the aperture is controlled very smooth, so there are no jumps like with old 4/3 lenses on a micro 4/3 body, for example. But let's get to the cons, and these cons are huge if you plan to use, or if you planned before you saw this, to use these lenses in AF mode, in video mode. And I want to say it clear, these lenses are not usable in autofocus mode in video mode. So just use these lenses manually with a follow focus maybe, because then the AF system is easier controllable. especially in video mode, because this AF system is way more raw stepped. In AF mode, there are sometimes such jumps, and you see we bokeh wobbling and jittering a little bit. And so let's show you a short a short clip about the 30mm f2.8 DN again, because there you also have a little bit more of bokeh, so you can see this jittering and this stepping of the AF system, which is not always the case, but sometimes. Okay, so yeah, let's watch it. Okay, welcome back. As you saw, the jittering is quite pronounced sometimes. It's not always the case, but it's quite annoying. So if you really want to use the AF system, maybe switch off the AF after the refocusing, because otherwise you always have this jittering as soon as the AF system recognizes a little bit of AF offset. And especially handheld, this is a no-go, at least for me. So this were the cons. Also a little bit of a problem, not a problem, it's only a fact these lenses have, it's not a con. And I'm a little bit astonished that they are listing it sometimes as a con, and this is this wobbling of the motor. Yeah, now you heard it. If the lens is offline, but as soon as you switch it on and you plug it onto a body and the body is switched on, this is gone, because this is only because of the AF stepper inside the lens. So I don't think that this should count as a con. Also as a con, sometimes mentioned is the missing rubber on the focus ring. Yes, it's true sometimes. You're maybe a little bit slipping, but at least my fingers are not that dry and slippy. So for me personally, for example, I can even use the small finger here to refocus. And so especially also because I think 90% of the people who are watching this will use this lens 80% or 90% in autofocus mode. I don't think that this is a huge con. I think it's even better in this constellation, because it's even better and easier to mount, for example, such gears, because you cannot destroy any rubber, or you're also not destroying the rubber if you let it on mounted on the lenses, for example. And so I think this is even better, and rubber is decreasing over the years, and in this shape it's also looking better. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this not short review, sorry. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Subscribe if you like. There are coming many more videos within the next time. I also planned, for example, a review of the 14140 Power o.i.s lens, which is also a very good lens and a very good upgrade from the original 14140. So bye, thanks for watching.